Hello and welcome to Prudent IAS, one-stop solution for all the competitive exams. In continuation of our free answer writing program, we have come up with another video. Today, we are taking up a topic from General Studies Paper 1, Geography. Our approach for this video will be the same like the previous lectures. We'll take up one topic, do some discussions over the content, and then we'll phrase one model answer as well as the question from that topic. If you have not joined our Telegram group Answer Writing by Prudent IAS, then do join it today because we send our questions a day prior in that group. So how it helps you? You can send your answers in that group. You can also see others' answer, do some peer-to-peer interaction. Also, we'll be picking up one question daily and evaluate it at no cost. Without wasting time, let's begin with our video. So today we'll be discussing about exploring Earth's interior, methods and discoveries. You must be aware that Earth is so huge, the radius is 6,370 kilometers, which makes it impossible for someone to physically go deep down and know about the interior. So what all methods we have? We have two methods. First, the direct sources and the other, the indirect methods. Today, we'll be discussing about both these methods in brief and then move towards the structure of the answer from these topics. Now, what all direct sources are available? Direct sources are the tangible evidence like rock samples, volcanic materials, etc. As well as the indirect sources, they are the intangible materials which help scientists to make assumptions, inferences, guesses using technology, which will help in knowing about the interior of the Earth. So the indirect sources like gravity, magnetic field, seismic waves, etc. help in accessing the deeper layers of the crust, deeper layers of the Earth without physically going there. So together, both these approaches have helped the scientists in knowing about the interior of the Earth as well as the dynamic process that occur beneath the surface. Coming up, the direct sources. Let's take a look. We'll divide it in these three subheadings. First, rock and mineral samples. You must be aware that there are a lot of deep drilling projects out there. One such example is the Kola Super Deep Borehole. You can use these examples while writing the answer, so I'm highlighting these. So these deep drilling projects help and oceanic crust drilling provide physical samples, and while analyzing and researching about those physical samples, we can know about the interior. Also, the volcanic rocks, whenever the volcano occurs, there is some eruption, so it throws up some rocks and gases. So rocks like basalt and other minerals like peridotite offer insights into the mantle conditions. Next up, continuing the volcanic activity, these eruptions provide us with the material from deep from the interior of the Earth. From where they originate? Earth's mantle. So the lava composition will help in telling us about the mineralogical makeup of the mantle. Also, volcanic gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, they offer clues about the temperature and pressure conditions prevailing in the interior of the Earth. Continuing with the temperature and pressure, another direct source. Often students confuse this as an indirect source, but it is not. Be sure temperature and pressure data is under a direct source. So temperature increases with the depth. Per kilometer of the crust, the temperature increases by 25 to 30 degrees Celsius on an average. So scientists use these drilling measurements to stimulate extreme pressure on the mantle and the core. So these three categories, the rocks and mineral samples, temperature pressure data, as well as the volcanic activity, help us in knowing about the interior of the Earth through direct sources. Now, since our question will be from this part, we are taking up it in more detail. Indirect methods, that means seeing without touching, without physically going there. First up here is seismic waves. Now, you must be aware that earthquakes generate seismic waves. These seismic waves provide us information about the different layers because when they travel through different layers, they create certain pattern. which reveals the properties of crust, mantle, and the core. Now, through these seismic waves, seismic tomography is being done. What is seismic tomography? It is creating 3D images of the Earth's interior. How these images are created? By using data from thousands of seismic stations. We create 3D images through which we come to know about the interior of the Earth. For example, P waves travel through both liquids and solid, while S waves travel only through solids. So this has revealed that the outer core is in liquid state. Next up is the magnetic field analysis. Now you must be aware that Earth has a magnetic field which keeps on changing. The poles keeps changing. So it is generated by the movements of the molten iron. The magnetic field occurs because of the presence of molten iron in the outer core. As already mentioned, the outer core is in liquid state. So it has molten iron, which in turn generates the magnetic field. How has it helped us? You must be aware about the seafloor spreading theory. So from magnetic anomalies which are seen in the oceanic basins, scientists have given evidence about seafloor spreading theory. Next up is gravitational surveys. Now there is certain variation often in the gravitational field of the Earth which will reveal clues about the mass, the density, the higher density and lower density in the mantle or core. So these gravity anomalies again help us to understand about the interior of the Earth. Last is meteorite studies. So meteorites like chondrites as well as iron meteorites, they help us in understanding the composition of the Earth. Why? Because it is assumed that these meteorites resemble the Earth's composition. These meteorites are what? They are extraterrestrial samples. So they help the scientists in inferring about the planet's core composition as well as the formation. So the topic is not too difficult, I guess. There are a few direct sources, indirect sources, but what is important, how you are going to answer the question from this topic. So let's come to the model question. Our understanding of the Earth's interior is mostly derived from estimates and inferences. Enumerate the various indirect sources of information about the interior of the Earth. So like I always say, just pause the video, take 10 seconds, identify the directive word and then frame an approach or even an answer, and then when we'll go towards the answer, you can do some self-evaluation. So here the directive words is enumerate. This is a 10 mark, 150 word answer. Strictly follow the word limit. I keep saying it again and again. Strictly follow the word limit. You may fall short of 5 to 10 words, but not more than that. So in the directive word series, we have already seen the meaning of enumerate. Enumerate and list, the two were a bit similar terms. What was the difference? The difference was while listing things, we keep things in too brief, just the points. But while enumerating the factors or the components, the structure or whatever the content is all about, like the sources here, we will mention in brief detail what all these sources are about. Let's move to the next part. Model answer. The first part of any question. While writing any question, the first thing what you need to keep in mind is intro, body and conclusion approach. This is a must. This cannot be skipped. So let's start with the introduction. Here again, I have given you two introductions, 1 and 2. You can choose either of these. If the question is of 15 marks, then you can merge and club these two and make one concise intro. Let's check the first one. The Earth's interior is inaccessible for direct study beyond the crust. Here I'll be reading out the terms because we have already done a discussion. So we'll focus more on the structure part. Therefore, our knowledge is primarily based on the indirect sources, which help the scientists infer the structure and composition of the Earth's layers. So this is a basic, simple insights about the topic. What is better here is this one. Earth has a radius of 6,370 kilometers, which makes it challenging for anyone to travel to the center of the planet. To conduct observations, or gather material samples. So indirect sources help in understanding the interior of the earth. Now what we have done here is, you can see the difference. This one too is a correct intro, but this is an effective one. First, this is giving you some data, then you are linking it with the demand of the question. You are mentioning the indirect sources here. So you can choose either of these. Next, let's come to the body. How are we going to start the body of the answer? By giving one major heading. Again, this heading will be self-explanatory. This means that even without reading the content, you can clearly guess what all is written here through the heading. How the heading needs to be written? Either in the block letters, that is capital letters, or you can choose small letters, underline it, or even draw a box. Just make sure the heading is highlighted. Also, focus on the alignment of the answer. Often students do not pay attention to the alignment. They just write some points here, some here, which affects the presentation. So make sure you write from margin, follow a particular structure. Again, we have divided the points in alphanumeric points 1, 2, 3, 4. We have used subheadings, which is again very important because it brings more clarity in the write-up. First up here is seismic waves. P waves and seismic waves, which are generated by the earthquake, reveal the properties of the Earth's layer. The behavior of these waves help in determining the composition of the mantle and core. Simple explanation, no use of jargons, no typical complex language. Simple explanation, simple subheading. Next up, gravitational anomalies. Variations in the gravitational field measured through surveys provide insights into the mass distribution and density variations within the Earth. I'll be pointing out the keywords at the end. So here you are mentioning all the key points like mass distribution, density variations within the Earth. It is an outcome of the gravitational anomalies. Next, magnetic field. The Earth's magnetic field is generated by the outer core, already discussed. It reveals information about the core's composition, while the magnetic anomalies on the ocean floor indicates the seafloor spreading. Last up here is the meteorite studies. The meteorites resemble the quartz material and provide data on its composition. So I hope this is clear to you all. Now what I'm going to do is, this is one structure, one option for you. What else can be done while writing the answer? You can use flowcharts. Now, while drawing flowcharts, you need to keep certain things in mind. First, the flowchart needs to be very, very clear. If you are drawing a flowchart, write the heading, draw it like this: first, second, third, and fourth. The structure you can choose, that's up to you, but I'm just telling you it needs to be clear, well aligned. Now what students often do is, they'll draw this flowchart, they'll give these subheadings like seismic waves, gravitational anomalies, and then again they'll write in depth using the subheadings. So that is repetition of words. Avoid repetition of words. What you can do is, draw a flowchart, give a heading, one, two, three, four. You can use this alignment as well for flowcharts. And if you are doing this one, you can choose next line for each. Here you will write the subheading, explain it in brief. Write the subheading, explain it in brief. So these structures can be used. It is not that to the T you are going to follow only heading, subheading and bullet structure. Flowcharts also can be incorporated. Next, the last part, the conclusion. Conclusion needs to be very brief, concise, yet summarizing. So through these indirect methods, scientists continue to enhance our understanding of the Earth's internal structure and process. A simple, concise summary of all the above points. Now here I have presented you, this is how your answer is going to look. You are not going to give the structural headings like intro, body, conclusion. Skip that, that was for your understanding only. So here, intro, body, and this conclusion. Word limit is also kept, the answer looks neat. What you need to do while handwriting your answer, because this is a type format, While handwriting, you can point out the keywords. Here, what all of the keywords are? For example, the insights into mass distribution and density variations, resemble the core, okay, provide data on composition, magnetic field is generated by the outer core, and it indicates magnetic anomalies, indicates seafloor spreading. All such keywords can be underlined, which will highlight that okay, you have mentioned all the key terms, covered the topics thoroughly, and give a better picture to the examiner. So this was all for today. I hope the topic is clear and you have got some insights how to structure your response. So keep following Prudent IAS YouTube channel for more such videos. Also, join our group on Telegram, Answer Writing by Prudent IAS. The link of this Telegram group will be given in the description box below. Thanks for watching.